So some might ask, well, why don't I just row with my feet out all the time? That kind of solves all the problems, right? I'm Cassie Neiman, a You Can Row To Master Rowing Instructor, and today I am going to set the record straight. We do like these straps, and we do want to use them, but we don't want to abuse them. So let's get into it. Here's the deal. We talk a lot about what our feet are doing. We promote the feet out rowing drill, putting your feet on top of the straps. And we talk about not pulling yourself back up to the catch while you're rowing. So some might ask, well, why don't I just row with my feet out all the time? That kind of solves all the problems, right? Well, not really. The thing is, these straps are here for a reason. And so we want to make sure we're using them, but we're not abusing them, okay? So when you do put your feet into these straps, which you should, we want to make sure that that strap is over the widest part of your foot. So the ball of your foot, right at the top of your shoelaces there, that's going to ensure that you can get some mobility. Your heels may lift up in order for you to get to full compression. They shouldn't lift way up, right? But they can, and having the strap in the right place allows for that to happen. Secondly, when we put that strap in the right place, that usually puts our foot in the right place, putting us in a good position to push off through the whole foot and get the most out of every stroke. If our feet are too high on the foot stretchers, then we're not going to be able to get as good of a push, and we might end up using a little more of the anterior side of our leg, our quads, versus kind of the back side, the posterior side, the hips and the hamstrings and the quads, right? So getting our foot in the right position really allows us to get a stronger stroke. Now, that's just where your feet are on the foot stretchers. When we put our feet in the straps and we pull them tight, now we're capable of getting the full stroke that we want to get. If you've ever rowed with your feet out, right, you might find that you have to kind of cut your finish off just a little bit so you don't fall off the machine, right? So having our feet in allows us to get that full finish position, about 10 degrees lay back, and get the hands away and the body to follow without feeling like we need to cut it a little bit short just because the feet are out. So having the feet in, strapped nice and tight, allows us to get our full range of motion so we can get the most out of every stroke. Also, when we increase the speed and the intensity of our stroke, we do use those straps just a little bit to keep us from flying off the ends, right? So allowing ourselves to kind of stay attached to the machine as we increase that intensity is really helpful. What we don't want to do is end up kind of pulling against the straps to pull ourselves back up. But it is helpful to have them keep us in place. So there's kind of this fine line between using these and then getting into that abusing territory. So if you've watched some of our videos before, what we don't want to see is those toes pulling back up off the foot stretcher. That's going to have you pulling against the straps themselves. So here's the final word. Strap your feet in. Pull those straps nice and tight, because if they're loose, whether you like it or not, your foot's probably going to come up off that foot stretcher because it's not strapped down tight. So go ahead and make it as tight as you can, all right, without really aggravating your foot, and see what happens to your stroke then. And if you find yourself still pulling against those straps, well, hey, go ahead and do that feet out drill whenever you feel like it. I just wouldn't recommend rowing with your feet out all the time, okay? So use the straps, don't abuse them. And that's the final word.